Hey, how's it going? Hans Schaff here with GoTinyBeFree, and today we are here at the Cottages at Pine Lake. And today with me, I've got Jim and Annette Cook from Myrtle Beach.
Myrtle Beach. Long ways to Myrtle Beach.
Yeah, you've been here. You guys got here on Monday, and I want to kind of share with everybody a little bit about kind of your story and how you
Sure.
came to discover us, the Cottages at Pine Lake, and a little bit about your Going Tiny story and kind of what your plans are for the future, and just a little bit more about you and what you got going on.
It's a pretty good story. We started getting into tiny homes probably about a year and a half ago, watching a lot of the videos up with Randy Jones and Incredible Tiny Homes. And
Live video, there you go. Let me reposition here. Okay.
that is a weakness of this ground.
Go ahead.
We are in a construction site. I don't know if you could tell that.
That was planned as part of the theatricals here.
But if you notice, I get credit for a save there, okay?
Yeah, I think you set me up too, but
So I'm just going to lean forward. If you're wondering why this guy is
Yeah.
leaning forward, it's because I don't want to go back.
I'm on the edge of my seat for more than one reason here.
But we started watching that. Annette and I have been into camping for many years, the tiny campers, and we enjoy camping a lot. But unfortunately, the clock just keeps ticking, and the body keeps it isn't what it used to be. Let's just say that. And we're kind of at this time in our lives where we're still camping, but there's a need to start transitioning away from the camping and living in Myrtle Beach. Most people that live in the eastern part of the United States, they know Myrtle Beach. But if it's been a few years since you've been there, you may not recognize Myrtle Beach. It's becoming such a big city. The growth there is astronomical, the way that the developments are going in, and with that the traffic is becoming an issue. And we're just deciding we still want to get out, we still want to camp, we still want to have our vacations, but maybe we need to do something different. And we decided to go with a tiny home and use it as a vacation, a place for vacationing. We never imagined Alabama. Never in my life did I imagine that I would live in Alabama.
Nor did I, to be fair.
You know, I knew where Alabama was, kind of, but not really. And most of the thoughts I had about what Alabama would be like, I was so wrong. I can't believe that I was so ignorant about what Alabama is.
Well, it's been quite a secret, but I think the secret's getting out because we're topping all the lists and everywhere, and people are starting to discover, and people are all coming here now because they're realizing, oh, the stereotypes, it's not exactly, what you hear on TV, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Facebook doesn't always tell you the truth all the time, but
Huntsville is just a half hour away, and Huntsville is it's one of the fastest growing cities, and it's a nice city. We happened on a restaurant the other evening that was perhaps the best Mexican food we've ever had. And if you know Annette and I, and if you look at my physique, you can tell that I don't work out a lot. I enjoy good food. Incredible food. And if that's a sample of what this area has, I'm telling you, I'm going to enjoy coming down here as frequently as possible. So we had plans to live up in Tennessee, and that just didn't work out the way we had expected. It was going to take too long. Basically, we have a lot of money invested, and we needed to get some kind of a return. And rather than wait a year or two, we decided maybe we need to look at something else. But before that happened, before we ever imagined not going to Tennessee, I saw a video of Hans. Hans had this dream. It seemed a little bit crazy, but yet it looked like a doable crazy. And he was going to buy this old animal park, petting zoo. I'm not even sure what they called it.
Old McDonald's petting zoo, yeah.
A petting zoo. And he was going to take and transform it into a community with 56 homes. Am I right on the number?
54, yeah.
54. Boy, I'm inflating it now.
Yeah.
He'll find room to put 2 more in, it's income.
Yeah.
And I looked at it. I looked at the renderings that he had of it, and realized that the renderings, nothing is ever going to look like the rendering. But I thought I like that look, and I like the size. We both kind of like the idea of a smaller, tiny community, but one that would be sufficient size for whatever it is. But we never intended of being here. But I was so captivated by Hans and his vision that I became one of his fans. I think he has 7 fans now.
And mom, dad.
Not counting family, there's Annette and I.
Okay. Yeah.
But no, there's really a lot of people that I know from the Facebook groups and all that admire what he's doing. And when I started a page supporting Hans, really a fan page. Can I give the advertisement?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Tiny Sweet Home Alabama, and or Tiny Home Sweet Alabama, Tiny Home Sweet Home Alabama.
Yeah.
I got to change that name, don't I?
And I have to interject. I mean, I've got a lot of friends and family who just tune in just this Facebook group just to kind of, see what happens in this Facebook group, because it's very entertaining. There's a lot going on in this Facebook group. So if you're not a part of it, look it up on Facebook. I think it is, yeah, Tiny Home Sweet Home Alabama.
Sweet Home Alabama.
And there's a new post every day. Jim is really good about creating thought-stimulating posts that get people to respond and comment and add pictures and stuff. And people have a good time in there. And like I say, people who have no intention of going tiny actually are joining this group just to kind of see what happens in this group, because it's a riot.
Yeah, you don't have to ever give up your 1,500, 2,000, 3,000 foot house. But if you like the idea of going tiny, and maybe you decide you want to rent a tiny home out someplace, well, I'm telling you, it's a good page. Yeah, ours will be for rent, so that'll be another shameless promotion that I'll do.
Yeah, and so to touch on that, so your home will be here. It's actually going to be, and we'll show more pictures of this, but he's got a 8x20.
8x20.
8x20 incubator box here, which is going to be joined by another 8x20. So it's actually going to be essentially an 8x40, a 250 square foot, 300 square foot tiny home, basically 2-bedroom.
You and your math. 320 square feet.
320 square feet inside, plus the decks and all that
Then
kind
we'll
of
have
stuff.
decks and porches. And our hope is that it'll be sufficient size so that a family or 2 couples could come and enjoy it, but also so that they could enjoy the outside. And when I agreed, when we had to come up with another solution for putting our houses somewhere, I had never thought of going to Alabama, even though I was a fan of what he was doing. It never crossed my mind that I would someday be going to Alabama, and it's kind of exciting. And when he said, "Why don't you come?" that was okay. And then his sweet wife reached out too, and you can't say no to Lacey. Would that be correct?
You can try.
Amazing woman. They have 2 kids, and we got to watch the kids in action the other night. But we decided, yeah, let's go here. Let's see what happens. And I have not visited the place until Monday, so it was all just trusting Hans. And I thought I was going to be in the woods and could look at the lake somewhere, and that was okay. And then we got here, and he said, here's your tiny home. I said, it's on the lake. And yeah, it's on the lake. Is that where it's going to be? That's where it's going to be. And Annette and I are so excited. Hans, we can't tell you how excited we are. And we've been camping in here. It's good that we're campers. We have the griddles. We have the plug-in coolers. We have the know-how. We have the cots. We aren't set up yet, but we will be. And this has given us 3-4 days to dream, to measure, to plan. And most of all, we're planning what the deck's going to look like out back.
Isn't it? It's a fun, exciting process, right? You kind of get to start from scratch. You get to kind of reinvent yourself, reinvent your life, and basically kind of have fun with it and be able to, create a new adventure for your life. And I think that's what's so fun watching people like yourself come to this property, because we started, from a blank canvas as well. We had to, take all the trees out here. We had to build a lake. We had to put water in the lake. We had to do so much work here, and to kind of see, so we started from scratch. We've all been kind of visualizing this and kind of dreaming this all together. And so to see, people like yourself come here to the property and be able to kind of start seeing your dreams start to kind of take shape and start to manifest and start to, it's fun. It's watching dreams come alive.
And right now, the whole place is under construction. This is not for the faint of heart. This is for those who like adventure.
It's an adventure, that's
And
correct.
it is an adventure, but I can see beyond the dirt. I can
What
see
dirt?
the
What, you
lawns.
see dirt out here?
I can see the homes. I can see the gardens and the flower gardens. I can see the decks. I can see people living next door to one another and the relationships you build up. I can see it all.
You
And
see the hot tubs too?
I can see the hot tubs. There's going to be, did I mention hot tubs? There's going to be hot tubs. And if you're an older person and you're thinking, how could I ever go to a tiny home where I just have a shower? I'm one that has to soak in a tub. Hot tubs. Beautiful solution.
We got dry saunas coming, clubhouse, yeah, laundromat, lots of things in store.
The list of amenities is unbelievable. And we'll get into it at a later video about when some of this is going to happen.
Sure.
And how it's going to happen. But let me just say, being here the last few days, watching Hans and his crew work, it's been 93 degrees. The humidity's been up in the 70s and 80s. And
Until today, all of a sudden it's perfect now.
watching him work, I just couldn't stand it anymore. I had to go take a nap.
Thankfully you did that too. 'Cause
And it's a young man's game doing some of this stuff. But an old man can appreciate the hard work. And us baby boomers, we have the idea that we were the last generation that knew how to work. We're wrong. We are wrong. There's others and generations that are working far harder than I ever imagined possible. And it's been a pleasure watching you work.
Yeah. Well, I'm happy that we're able to make such good progress and be able to continue to bring new homes in and bring new residents in. And again, watching, every new house that gets set and the stairs in front of it, the utilities, getting it all leveled, and now it's on this beautiful spot, and seeing, the new person coming in and having to kind of like figure out their new life. I mean, it's, again, starting from scratch. In fact, nobody that I know of has ever lived tiny who's come here so far, so it's a brand new adventure. It's not just moving. And, and of course, moving into a tiny house is not the same as moving into like a 3,000 square foot house. You can only bring so much. So it makes it a lot easier to move in. But it's still a process. It still takes time to kind of figure out your new routine, what you're going to be doing. I mean, you've been kind of doing your laps and kind of walking around the property and,
I walk all the time, checking it out and even seeing progress day to day as I walk. And I can't believe the progress. But there's lots of places you could put a tiny home. RV parks, some of them will let you park a tiny home there, and that's good. And there's tiny home parks popping up everywhere, and they're good. But I'm telling you, for Annette and I, we wanted something that's more than just a place to park our tiny home. We want a place to live. We want a place where there's things to do. We want a place where there's going to be a sense of community. And I tell you, in my estimation, this is going to be a premier tiny home community. And I invite people to check out the tiny home pages that deal with this property. What's the name of your site?
So the Facebook page or the website? Website is GoTinyCottages.com is the easiest way to find it. GoTinyCottages.com.
GoTinyCottages.com. Check it out. You'll find it. I believe there's the cottages at Pine Lake Facebook page.
As well, yeah.
There's Tiny Home Sweet Home Alabama. Check it out. Join those pages. Nobody's going to harass you with sales, but become familiar with what it is. And again, you might decide, okay, I'm done with camping. I'm done with traveling all over the place. I want something different. I want something fun. Hey, this is it.
Yeah, and whether it's for your primary residence or a second home or an investment property, tiny home fits all those categories. So it really kind of just depends on your situation. It really is a solution for so many different options. Because like I said, for you, it's going to be primarily an Airbnb for the first little bit until you guys are fully ready to move here full time, and then it will become your primary
And lean
residence.
forward. I'm about to fall
Yeah,
over.
don't do
I'm
that.
not going to trust him to save me.
I'm not as quick as you are.
Uh, he told me if I was really good and promoted it well that he'd give me $1. So was that worth $1? And we'll pick this up in a little bit.
All right, so this is Jim's one of his 8x20 Incrediboxes right here in front. We're going to do a little quick tour. He's going to show us around. And, you know, right now they kind of set it up as a kind of a camping setup for now, as you guys are they're starting to move in, bringing some of their stuff. They have a cargo trailer here that they're kind of unloading some things and finding some good deals at the local Lowe's
Oh,
discount outlet, right?
oh, if you're looking for good deals at Lowe's, you message me. I'll tell you how to find them. This place is amazing.
It's about, what, 40 minutes or so, I think,
About 40
from here?
minutes.
Yeah.
And we just unbelievable deals.
Yeah,
Hit or miss.
you might need a cargo trailer like this
Hit
in
or
order
miss. Yeah,
to
I'll be able to rent this out when I'm done with it.
that's some good deals. So anyway, without further ado, we're going to kind of walk inside here and we'll show you the inside here. All right.
Come on into our tiny home. This is an 8x20 Incredibox. There'll be 2 of them. They'll be joined together where this window is. We'll go into the what's the front door of the other one. The other side will be the bedroom. This will be the living room and kitchen.
All right. You got a little loft up there as well, which will be
Lots of storage. Might unofficially be a spot for grandbabies to stay when they come, but we do not have a way of egress. And we've got it set up with our camping cots. Coming this way, you'll find our kitchen area. We'll have a induction burner. We don't have it yet. We have the sink, the work triangle. Everything's really nice and compact. A small 7 cubic foot refrigerator. And we liked it because the 10 cubic foot one was going to stick out another 3 inches. And we didn't want to give up that real estate. Now, when we move here full time, if we move here full time, we'll have the biggest refrigerator we can get. But for an Airbnb, not necessary. Not necessary. Stepping in here, this is, well, I won't step in there. This is the huge bathroom, and it's sufficient. And there is plumbing if we wanted to put a sink in. But if you notice from the bathroom to the kitchen sink, it's just a step. It's just one step away. So we can't see why we would do that. But some people feel like you have to do that. That's okay. It's possible. It's a 36-inch shower. Big enough for someone like me. So I'm guessing you will fit.
You got a storage loft up here as well.
Storage loft above. So really a lot of storage. And I'm thinking of making my own couch, which would have storage underneath. And up here is the mini split. It was 92, 94 degrees when we came the other day. This place was hot. And when we finally turned this on, 15, 20 minutes, it was very nice.
Yeah.
So it puts out some nice air.
And you got that closed cell insulation on the walls too, which helps keep it that way as well. So it doesn't have to run nonstop.
Sleeping, you know, in our cots, I thought I was going to feel a little bit claustrophobic. But the beauty is, by line of sight, I'm looking kind of at the ceiling that was going up here rather than this ceiling. And I felt a sense of, you know, this expanse. So the ceilings are very high in this. And that's a good thing with a small house.
And so eventually, again, this is going to be the living area.
This would be the living area.
And that'll be...
So we envision having the couch here, a couple chairs, probably these chairs that we have, some kind of a table. It might go underneath this flip-up counter so that we could bring it out in between them. The door to the bedroom area would be over here. And we're imagining the television being on this wall.
Yeah.
And the question will be, and please vote, should it be a 40-inch one or should it be an 81-inch one like I want?
It'll fit.
That's
It'll
what we
fit.
need to know.
That's a nice wall for a TV, yeah. And then, so the other one will be the bedroom.
That'll be the bedroom. And it'll be set up as a bedroom. You know, be a traditional bed. I believe we're going to go with a queen size bed, so there's room on each side to move in and around the bed.
And an ensuite bathroom.
An ensuite bathroom. How about that? A tiny home with 2 baths.
Yeah, 2 beds.
Do you see that very often, Hans?
Yeah. No, that's going to be pretty sweet.
And,
it's going to be nice. I think, yeah, it's going to be, get ready to, as soon as the gym gets out available, we'll let you guys know so you can come out here and visit. And again, we have these Airbnbs set up in the front because I think we're going to have a lot of guests and visitors. So, you know, you'll be able to come out and experience it, you know, firsthand for a night or two. And of course, if you want to live long-term, you got to get a lot at the tiny house yourself in the long-term resident area. But
and I do like the separation that Hans is doing. So you'll have the Airbnb part at the front of the community, and the regular community will be isolated a little bit from that. And I think, you know, rather than not knowing who's going to be next door to you all the time, I like that idea. That's a very good idea.
Yeah, just get a peace of mind when you're long term. You know your residents, you know your neighbors. If you go away, there's someone to kind of look out for you. And if you have an Airbnb, well, you know you're gonna be next to other Airbnbs, and so again, we'll be keeping an eye on those properties. We're gonna have cameras, we're gonna have lights, and you know there'll be a lot more you know visibility in one section as opposed to kind of scattered throughout. So we want to impose that kind of control for people's peace of mind, both for the owners of the Airbnbs and for the residents who are on the other side of the property, essentially.
And why don't you come for a walk with us? And we may not be, you may not see us, but we'll be talking as we go, and hopefully there'll be some intelligent conversation. Hans is here, you know it'll be intelligent.
Stay tuned.